A very good evening to brothers, uncles and sisters. I'm sorry, uncle and aunties, brothers and sisters all in the Dharma. In fact, it's quite fortunate to have a chance, at least for all of us here today, to have a proper environment and time to practice the 8 precepts. By this great merits that all of us have done, may all of us have a wonderful days for our self-salvation. For today's, the topics that we're going to, in fact, discuss are something like Sila. For our rebirth into this samsara world, in fact, is due to our own all the good and bad karma that, in fact, we have accumulated from previous life or lives before. So, it is in fact a fortunate time for our self-check that today at least we have come to the right teacher, right moment, and to the right knowledge of realizing the supreme knowledge of Dharma. So, to correct and to purify all our impurities of pure lives, the Lord Buddha, in fact, they have introduced this middle path or this righteous living life for us to practice. Among this righteous life, they include three main factor of it. That is, first of all, the Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Since today is the topic is Sila, we're going to talk about on Sila only. Sila in English terms means moralities. Moralities, there is in Chinese it's called 行为,我们的行为. In this Sila itself, they can be further classified into three categories. First of all, it is right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Any bad or good deeds, or wholesome or unwholesome deeds, we can activate from our present life that in fact came from our thought, our speech, and from our action. So in this Sila, there's include two of it. That is our speech, our actions, and our speech and our actions. So for this practicing Sila, there's first of all right speech. Right speech, in fact, it is including non-slandering, harsh speech, lying, backbiting, or even talking those idling talks when we are free or something like chit-chat, gossips, and talk bad or ridiculous things about others people. There's non-wasting, in fact, wasting our valuable time. The Lord Buddha, in fact, once quoted this: every living being born with an sharp edge. This edge can, in fact, hurt or can create good or harmony feeling with us if we can use it wisely. So this mouth, in fact, is a very important instrument. So when we can and we are wisely to speak those wise, harmony, rightful, true words, will create friendship method or harmony amongst our all fellow friends. Then, in fact, first of all, it's right speech. Secondly, there is right action. Any wholesome and unwholesome deeds that we do, in fact, can be justified in these three main factors. That is, whether we act out in anger, hatred, delusion. So, when any action that we do is based on one of it, any one of it, there is anger, hatred, delusion, it is in fact unwholesome deeds. And as all of us, or some of us here, are well versed with the law of karma, when we have done good action, good deeds, there will be good effect. So happen to our deeds that we have done. So right action here, including abstain from killing, abstain from stealing, abstain from sexual misconduct. If we can mindfully and wisely one day sit down to contemplate, if we to be tortured, to be cut into pieces, or to be killed by others, how painful we will feel. I will cry out in pain. If we can mindfully and wisely contemplate and understand this, then next time, before you about or intend to kill any living beings, please mindfully contemplate on this action, that is, abstain from killing. And in this right action also, there is abstain from stealing. Taking item belongings of others without their permissions or their knowledge is considered stealing. Even though he or she might have left his belongings or things in somewhere else and doesn't know about that, it is not our belongings. Then why should we take it? Even though we are the only one that see it, then we take it away. Imagine that you yourself, that you have put your golden watch or golden chain somewhere, and then misappropriate it. Someone else see it, then take it away. Next day you come, you can't find it. How bad you feel. See? So there is abstain from stealing. Then abstain from sexual misconduct is associating with any others or associating with opposite sex. There is beside of our own husband or wife or any person related closely to us, there is sexual misconduct. Then the third one of this Sila, there is right livelihood. The Buddhas have carefully introduced this mode of life to the lay people. That is, to live a rightful, respectable, and noble life without interfering, without disturbing, and without causing trouble to other people. To earn a living with your own effort without committing all these suffering state to others. The Lord Buddha, in fact, has reminded us, he in fact discouraged us to commit in these five trading. That's, first of all, trading in human beings. In ancient India, there's those people, merchants especially, they'll catch those slaves, young boys and girls, and sell it in the market. And trading arms, weapons, trading is flesh. There is raiding up animals like chickens, pigs, ducks, then to slaughter and sell in the market. Fourthly, trade in drugs or those drinks that will pollute and poison our mind system and body system. And fifthly, discourage us to trade in poisons. In fact, if we can try our best, avoid ourselves from associating or taking up these 5 modes of living method. I think that's time's up for me. Thanks very much for giving us this time to present something to all of you. You all be well and be strong and healthy. 这佛陀有介绍过我们人物对不起
佛有教我们怎么样解脱苦。这个 OK， 佛有教我们怎么样解脱苦戒，就是从戒定慧。像现在我们今天就讲是关于戒，第一就是 right speech 就是正确，真言就是不要讲偏话了，不要人的背后讲是非出话了。如果我们的话是讲好的，我们就能够得到很多朋友了。第二就是right action 真行为就是没有不杀生，不偷东西，就做善事，还有就不喝酒right livelihood，第三就是right livelihood 就是生命正确的生活就是
第三呢就是讲我们应该有一个正确的生活方式，那么就是说我们生活比如说去做工，而且是做生意，又是其他东西，如果可以的，我们尽量的不要去有伤害到别人，而是会去妨碍到别人，而是弄到别人的生气，而是欺骗别人，因为我们要赚这笔钱是要为了生活，我们做这是不正确的生活方式，佛陀还有提醒我们说，如果可以的话，我们尽量避免不要做以下五种的行为。第一就是避免买卖那些奴隶，就是在从前印度呢，而是在这个 非洲也是有那么那些人抓那些小孩子男生那是女生，然后拿去那个巴萨那边去卖，就是作为那些奴隶 ，sorry， 还有除了这一点，还有另外就是说，如果可以的避免不要刚才那个奴隶的就是贩卖人口啊，就是说贩卖人口，谢谢你的。第二点就是不要有这比如说那些枪啊，那些火炮啊，做这些兵器这些东西，因为这如果我们贩卖这些东西呢，会鼓励更多人买这些的武器来伤害更多的那些生物，不杀生那些。第三就是如果可以的避免贩卖毒品以及那些酒类，因为这会更伤害到更多人的那个身体以及他们的思想。第四呢就是就刚才还有最后一点就是说，如果可以的避免我们养那些猪啊，养猪以及那些鸡，养那些东西养了，那些鱼啊养了，然后卖这些生物，贩卖这些生物给因为这会允许更多的杀生东西。谢謝你。
今日呢個題目就係講戒律，咁呢個戒律呢就好廣泛。咁我徵求我呢一組嘅各位意見。咁樣其中一位師兄就講，點解我哋咁多人都唔嚟受戒，只係我哋嚟受戒？呢個係講到前世啦。前世我哋有修到好，可能都有修到戒，亦都大家聚合在一齊。有一句説話就係講三世修嚟同船錯啊！咁樣我哋今日就係坐住同一條船一齊嚟受戒，就係講前世做到好，今世同樣都係嚟受戒，都係好。第二個問題就係講到戒嘅有咩好處喎？咁樣另外一個師兄就講戒嘅好處呢，就係可以改善本人嘅品德。佢講以前佢未受戒嗰陣時呢，佢嘅行為啊、言語啊好差，咁樣佢就因為因緣成熟就嚟參加佛教。佢嘅出發點就係希望一家大細平安，希望成家人有好處。咁樣綜合佢嘅意見嚟講呢，佢所謂嘅好處啦，如果係本身改好品德，以前嘅脾氣啊各方面啊改善，家人睇到咗講哎呀好啊，佢以前都未信佛就咁樣嘅態度，信咗佛之後佢所親近嘅都係善知識，佢最近嘅行為改變咗好多。咁樣我認為呢個見解呢，好符合我哋嘅佛教嘅，因為以身作則就係講到今世啦。你本身好，你嘅行為言語表現出嚟都係好嘅。咁樣家人啊， 唔知你喺出邊做乜嘢，不過佢見到你行為好，又知道你係參加係佛教徒，佢會模仿我哋嘅。咁佢亦都想進一步了解好處喺邊度。咁當然啦，如果佢能夠親近到咯，佢當然會知道好處喺邊度啦。咁樣就係講成個家庭都好咯，個個人都以佢為準則啊嘛，所以就可以講得上一家都平安。出去謀生活，出門都係順利平安，即係可以講得上一路遇貴人啦，一帆風順。咁樣仲有講戒嘅有咩好處啊？除咗咁嘅好處，仲有咩好處？咁樣另一位師兄又講啦，戒嘅好處呢，可以佢講佢以前未曾信佛之前，未人了解，好煩惱啊！佢講，自從佢了解咗，又參加咗各方面嘅活動，佢個頭腦開始冷靜，心情愉快，煩惱呢少咗好多。咁樣身體呢，本來好多病痛，因為咁嘅關係，身體亦都跟住健康起嚟啦。食藥都少咗好多，就係講佢本身嘅好處。咁樣仲有咩好處呢？個戒，就講到未來嗰一世啦啊係。佢話如果係一個人守基本嘅五戒嚟講，你守得具足，即係戒香具足。戒香具足嘅好處呢，佢哋各位綜合意見都講希望做人。咁樣咁唔知做人好唔好，而且好苦今生。咁樣我認為呢，如果你戒香具足係咪？你將來做人呢，一定係好嘅，因為你前世嘅戒香係香，你今世嘅受做人一定係快樂。咁樣咁簡單嘅好處，仲有咩好處呢？咁樣再進一步，因為戒呢好廣泛咁樣廣泛唔係一定要發願做人，可以發願做天人。咁佢哋又擔心做天人會墮落喎。咁我話唔會，天人如果你係守戒律好，你做天人，你都響天上見佛聞法，一樣有得修行。咁樣認為做天人都唔係幾妥當，仲有冇再好嘅呢？咁講，咁我本人嘅就講我自己本人嚟噶。我講我成日都發願往生西方，唔知各位會唔會曾經聽過阿彌陀佛呢？都係佛陀，不過稱號呢稍微改變一下。咁我講，如果你往生西方呢，你一定會親近大善知識啦，即係第二個星球啦嚇。第二個星球你親近好嘅人就係善知識啦。善知識響我哋四周圍嘅教我哋嘅嘢都係好嘅，咁一定好肯定唔會墮落。只有要做到一生補處，即係未來嘅佛陀啦。咁樣我哋講呢啲呢都係好遠喎，睇唔到又摸唔到，感受唔到。咁樣大家又翻嚟講翻做人嘅各方面嘅範圍。咁樣佢話大家嘅意見呢都認為做人呢不如穩陣啦，愛快脆啦。咁不如就發願做咩呢？就係發願講生生世世係咪都見佛聞法，親近大善知識，勤修戒定慧，息滅貪嗔癡，入聖流。若果入到呢個聖流嘅逆河呢，係咪？佢係逆流啦，但係佢唔會講令人退步，唔會墮落，佢會逆流而上，慢慢好似我成日聽到一句英文話阿羅漢咁樣，係咪？我講你好肯定就會成為阿羅漢啦。咁樣呢啲係100%好保證嘅。講到做人好保證啦。咁樣我嘅大家嘅結論呢，綜合我本人嘅結論呢，都係到此為止。咁我希望各位師兄補充一下，更正我所講嘅説話。
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters, uncles and aunties, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. I think just now Brother Tan has spoken most of what we have discussed in my group. I think I'll go through our points as briefly as possible and see what we get of it. In our discussions, we find that Sila, in the Buddha's teachings or in the teachings of all the Buddhas, they have these three principles, that is to do good, avoid evil, and purify the mind. And in the avoiding evil aspects, we understand this to be the Sila aspect. And in this avoiding evil, we have restraint of body, speech, and mind. Restraint of body, there are three aspects. There is to avoid killing, stealing, and sexual misconduct. And speech, to avoid telling lies, avoid slandering or backbiting, to avoid harsh speech and frivolous talk or gossiping. And the restraint of mind is to avoid covetousness or longing for others' belongings, ill will or hatred, and wrong views. These are the 10 wrong actions. From the other aspects of from the positive aspect, that is what we have to do. This one we find that this time we can find the Eightfold Path, that is in right speech, right action, and right livelihood. In right speech, we have to speak the truth. We have to speak gently, and we have to speak of the Dharma instead of frivolous talk. And in right action, we have to do action which is benefits us and as well as others, is praised by the wise, blameless actions. And in right livelihood, we must not indulge in the 5 wrong occupations, that is dealing in poison, dealing in arms or weapons, dealing in living beings or slavery, or even animals, and also dealing in flesh animals or flesh of animals, and dealing in intoxicants. We understand in our group that the Samadhi aspects of this Eightfold Path, that is effort, mindfulness, and concentration, also plays a part in that. In right speech, right action, right livelihood, we must have mindfulness. We must have mindfulness before we can to check our actions, so that we won't commit wrong. So we find that mindfulness is very important in this Sila aspect of the Eightfold Path. So to summarize, so basically in our group we find that in Sila we have to keep the precepts, which should prevent us from committing all the wrong actions. And I think you all are quite familiar with the 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts of Samaneras, and the 227 precepts of the Bhikkhus. I think I will have to end now.
这个希腊，它的这里是佛陀所要指示的是不作恶啦，其善事啦，跟尽其心意啦。这里第一点呢，讲到希腊呢，我们是讲到要守戒啦。守戒这里最基本的是要守5戒啦，就是不杀生，不偷盗，不邪淫，不妄语，不饮酒啦。第二点就是讲那个希拉呢，就是关于那个佛陀所那个启示那个大正道啦。大正道这里有3点，第一点是正言，正言就是我们的行为所行动的就是要有正确的，就是不讲妄语啊，不恶口，不两舌了。第二点呢是正确的行为，正确的行为就是不杀生，不偷盗，跟不邪淫啦。第3点是讲到我们的正确的生活的方面。这个方面就是首先我们的师兄有提到那个有提到5点啦，就是不贩卖那个奴隶肉类的东西，那个兵器，还有是毒品跟还有一点我忘记，肉类的东西，兵器、毒品，酒啦，那个酒第3点呢，我们讲到那个受戒有几层啦。第一层我们在家人的居士，就是最基本要守5戒。第2点呢是好像今天是我们守那个8关斋。第3点就是做沙弥那个要守10戒啦。第4点就是再高一点的就是出家人所守的就是227条那个戒律。还有提到一点就是当我们守戒，我们要有正确的什么叫做正念呐。我们每一行动要注意 我们的身口意把他们收到很尽量收到很清净这样啦。
Good afternoon, uncles and aunties, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Okay, Sila consists of right speech, right action, and right livelihood. So what is right speech? Right speech is the fourth precept, that is the Musawada, and we are not supposed to abuse others, and we are also not supposed to hurt ourselves. And I think I do not have to elaborate more on the right speech, right action, and right livelihood, but simply run through, because our brothers already explained very clearly. And right action is not to kill, things like that. It's just like our Reverend Sudenan has explained last night, that a little finger can kill a person. So I think it's self-explanatory. And right livelihood is not to sell liquor, arms, weapons, or slavery, not to involve in trades like this, and not to trade in animals or livestock, and not to sell poisons. So these are the trades that we are not allowed to get involved with. Now, Sila is a foundation for us to cultivate and to develop confidence. Okay, to achieve our way, that's to walk our path to Nibbana. Now, why do we practice Sila? Of course, we want to develop a habit to condition ourselves to the way of life, and to create good karma, and wholesome things. What are good karmas? Good karmas are those things that are recommended or stated by the Buddha. And it's also conducive to a wholesome last thought of moment. That is during our death, or before our death. You see, there's a thought moment before our death. So that's the very important moment. So we are supposed to grab a very wholesome thought before we pass away. Now there are three grades of Sila. Okay, number one is Sila Parami. That is to observe the precepts. Now these precepts varies from the 5 precepts to the monks' precepts, including the bhikkhuni's precepts. Number 2 is the Sila Upaparami. That is, we are supposed to restrain our 5 sense door. There is the unwholesome objects. Okay, there is our eyes. We are not supposed to create unwholesome objects. Our ears. And then our nose, our tongues, and our body. Okay? So we are not supposed to attach to unwholesome objects. And then number 3, there's Sila Paramatta Parami. So we are supposed to restrain the mind and to develop and cultivate the mind to achieve one-pointedness or mindfulness. Okay? So this is a very important point to get rid of greed, hatred, and delusion. And this is the only Sila that can lead us to get out of this samsara of suffering. Okay. The other 2 Silas are not that they are not important, they are also important. The only thing is there's more on the rough side. There's the outer surface of it. We have to develop our conduct, etc. Now, Sila is like a fragrance that can be carried far away. Similarly, a person who practices Sila is always loved by his friends. Therefore, news of his virtues can be carried far away by his friends. Another example is it's difficult to teach people by words, but it's easier to lead by example. Now, by concluding these points contributed by our group, there's of course our brothers, not only myself. Now, the effect and the result of practicing Sila is, I should say, are, by practicing Sila, they attain, a person will attain good rebirth, will attain or achieve wealth, and they will attain Nibbana, of course. These are the results of it by practicing Sila. Now, the overall picture is to, of course, make our mind calm and peaceful, and to achieve wisdom, okay, or panya, wisdom. So, for this, I should end my points here. So these are the points contributed by our group, and this is the only points that we can share with you. So may you be well and happy.
Good afternoon, Uncle and Aunties, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. My questions regarding Sila. As what we know, Buddha's teaching is not only mentioned for the religious way of life. Buddhism is meant for everyone. So my topic is why Sila is so important, but no question mark on religion. It's based on universal. It's a universal precept. Sila is a means of discipline as well as morality, and by practicing it, we restrain of the five senses through mindfulness. So, to have Sila, then we have to train the mind from breaking the precepts, because as we know, each and every one of our mind is just like a monkey jumping here and there. There's no certainty. And it's also built up the foundation for the cultivation in way to progress the perfection from wrong actions, brings about favorable future conditions. And the last, I would like to say, it also develops our wisdom. When we meditate, you have Sila, your meditation concentration will be very fast and at a very one-pointedness of the mind. So it also plays an important role both way in spiritual and our mundane life, because it also brings harmony to the law of nature. Now, from this, it will result us to release us from sufferings. So my question on this is, it applies to all, not only on Buddhist community, to all. It applies to everyone, even though in the Christianity and Muslims, wherever religion they are. So now it comes to the third point that's contributed by our brothers and sisters in my group. You say, Dika Nikaya, what are the benefits? It comes to the practice of Sila, is the benefit of virtues. The virtues, as we know, that is restrained in 5 ways by rule of the community. Patika, Patimokkha, and also you have to maintain mindfulness. And then you have a very good knowledge. When you have mindfulness and concentration, whatever you do, you will have the right thought, and so you'll be success. And also you have patience and energy to continue the work you have. So, and also besides all in our daily life, we have other things like you have benefit from the fortune, from diligence, and also we have fame. Fame in the sense that not by you get fame through crooked ways. It's for your truthfulness, and that's developed from your wisdom. And also fearlessness. People look at you, maintain the kind of closeness to you. You won't feel fearful, and people look at you may come closer. And this will build up your friendship, and you're very important in your social life. And now comes to birth, now comes to death. We have a very peaceful death. A person who has good Sila will have a very calm and peaceful death, So you will have a very certain for your next happy rebirth. We comes to Buddha's saying, he also mentioned in the Agotara Nikaya, he said, so true, sir, when the training precepts is announced by me, my disciples do not transgress it even for the sake of life. Now, this is very important in a simple way that even though to upkeep the precept, even he can forgive the sake of his life to keep the precepts. So it maintains all these precepts in our daily life. Now, not only to maintain life, but the monkhood who also kept the 207 precepts. So, precepts in Sila is simple, but it's not easy to keep. But we must know that the simple thing we try to keep is the hardest thing. But the hardest thing to keep is easy to break. So, the basic to have all these reverse of the 5 precepts, or whatever precepts we break, it will shorten the life, or you have the deformed birth, as well as you have poor health, or a lot of sufferings maintained in your next birth. And you have poverty, the breaking of the precepts. And so you have enmity and loss of trust, as well as you have mental retarded, that means stupidity for people who break precepts.
A very good evening to all the uncles and aunties, brothers and sisters in the Dharmas. In fact, most of the points have already been brought up by the others. There's not much thing actually for me to talk. But in brief, I would just like to go through about these silas. Silas actually is part of our this Noble Eightfold Path, Sila, Samadhi and Panya. There is right action. Sila consists of 3 main things. There's right action, right speech, and right livelihood. For this Noble Eightfold Path, every Buddhist need to follow this path shown by our Lord Buddha and all the other past Buddha. Just in brief, right action actually is abstain from killings, stealing, and sexual misconduct, and also refrain from hurting people's or damaging people's properties and causing disturbances to others. So we must help people who are really in need of help. Like those examples, like doing charities or dana to the temples, and to the orphanage and to the old folks' homes, and also printings of Dharma books for distribution. So actually about this old folks' homes, actually we are organizing a trip to the Shire home this coming Sunday. That is on the 6th of August at 3 p.m. Those who are interested are welcome. The other one is the right livelihood. There's abstinence from the 5 kinds of trade. There's arms, intoxicants, and trading of animals, slaughter of animals for trade. In brief, we must do these jobs or trades which doesn't harm others. So the final one is right speech, as refraining from falsehood, slandering, harsh words, and malicious talk. So we also must give what we call some sort like we must give encouragement, good encouragement to those people who are in depression due to their failure in business, or due to their what we call torn up of families and all those etc. In conclusion, for those who really want to live a pure life, need not only silas, but also samadhis and panya in order to to support this sila. So I would like to end here and wish you all every well and happy.
Thank you. So here we end our Dharma discussion on Sila. I'm glad that it worked out quite well, And next week we'll be doing another next month we'll be doing something on Samadhi, Samadhi, on meditation, okay? Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Okay, so you got 1 whole month to read and practice Samadhi, after which you can come and share your experiences with us next month. Some of you are a bit nervous. Well, don't worry about that. Everybody here, I think, is nervous. Every speaker is nervous. So we hope that through speaking many times, you will become more assured or more confident in your public speaking, and hopefully that one day you will develop, one day in the near future, not too far away, you will develop into a Dharma speaker and be able to benefit many people. Hello. So basically, on Sila today, we have the brothers and sisters have gone through the various precepts and explanation of each of the precepts in connection with the cultivation of Sila. And then here we have from the Visuddhimagga that virtue is restrained, and restraint is practiced by 5 ways: by rules of the community, like the monks' 227 rules, Patimokkha. Okay, restrained by mindfulness, which I think is the main factor in the practice of Sila, to be mindful of your body, speech and mind. By knowledge, by reading the Dhamma so that you know what is right, what is wrong, otherwise also cannot practice Sila. Okay, knowledge is important. By patience, okay, when you can bear and when you have forbearance, you can tolerate all the adversities in life, then you are also practicing Sila. And lastly, by energy, okay, energy in the sense of right effort, to put in extra effort to overcome your defilements, the tendency to do wrong, when you feel that you are about to do wrong, to put in the energy to stop doing that action. When you are about to do good, to put in the energy to go ahead and do good. That is the 5 ways of practicing virtue. And Sister Lo has mentioned to you just now the 5 benefits of practicing Sila. Number 1, fortune. From your diligence in your practice, you get fortune, whether the Sila is cultivated in the worldly environment or the material environment, or whether it is cultivated in the spiritual environment as we are doing now. They will all lead to fortune. That means a happy future. Number 2 benefit is fame. When you are a well-disciplined person, then people will come to respect you and you will have fame. 3, fearlessness. When you have Sila, then there is no fear. You do not fear people robbing you, stealing, beating you, or whatever. You have the confidence to go anywhere without fear because you have strong Sila. And this has to be experienced by those who practice Sila well. Number 4, a person with good Sila dies unconfused. That means when your conscience is clear, and when the day comes for you to die, your mind will be very clear also. Okay? You do not worry about the things you have done, the wrong deeds you have done, and where you will go after death. Alright? So you die with an unconfused and clear mind. And the 5th benefit is a happy rebirth. Okay, so obviously those who have good Sila will have a very happy rebirth, either in fortunate realms or in very fortunate conditions as human beings, but not lower than that if you have good Sila. This is extracted from the Digha Nikaya, and then from the Majjhima Nikaya we have the benefits of virtue as being dear to all, loved by all, respected by all, and honored by all. So these are the benefits of the practice of Sila. So with this, I shall end this session. And For those who are practicing on a more intensive level, there is a quotation here from the scriptures. It says, "As one who is bound by the bond of sexuality, he will not be released from birth, aging, and death. He will not be released from sufferings, I say." This is the quote by the Buddha. So this is for people who practice very seriously, and it concerns the first hindrance of sensual pleasure. Okay? Okay. I end it with this verse. Such virtues lead to non-remorse in the mind, to gladdening, to happiness, to tranquility, to joy, to repetition, to development, to cultivation, to embellishment, to the requisite for concentration, to the equipment of concentration, to fulfillment, to complete dispassion, to fading away, to cessation, to peace, to direct knowledge, to enlightenment, to nibbana. Okay, so with this, I say sadhu to you all for discussing the Dhamma, and I hope that you will share with us very good points on Samadhi next month. Let's say sadhu, 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 sadhu.
Samadhi. Samadhi means mental discipline or mental culture. Contains the three factors of the Eightfold Path. There is right effort, Samma Viyama, right mindfulness, Samma Sati, right concentration, Samma Samadhi. We come to the first one is right effort, okay? Is to live a moral and blameless life. They are classified into four factors. The effort to avoid evil not yet arisen, the effort to develop good not yet arisen, the effort to overcome evil that has already arisen, the effort to promote the good that has already arisen. We should avoid evil, do good, and purify one's mind with this. One could develop wisdom and clear doubts. Vipassana, clear awareness of reality. In Buddhism, reality means penetration of the three characteristics of life, example, suffering, impermanence, and soulness. Let's come out to the right mindfulness, Samma Sati. To be mindful of our thoughts, speak, and action, we establish harmony and peace. When anything comes our way, we must watch and observe. The subject like arising of anger, or subject of angry mind, or realize that it both impermanent, and so we try to suppress it. By so doing, quickly cultivate positive feelings such as love, compassion, mental purification, and happiness. We come to the third one, that is right concentration, Samma Samadhi. In the in the three factors of the mental discipline, okay? Right concentration is the awareness of our mind, calmness of one mind, utter alive on a subject without wandering of the mind. Without a strong foundation of a Sila, the meditation will be difficult and unfruitful. In jhana, what is that? In jhanas, the three defilements of is greed, hatred, ignorance are merely suppressed. To conclude on my talk, some people say that the precepts are concerned with bodily action and speech alone, and that the mind lies within Samadhi. Whatever actions are performed or words spoken, one's Samadhi is unaffected. In other words, body and mind are separated.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Our group has come out with and agreed upon some of the things concerning Samadhi. And I wish to share with you what we have agreed upon. For a start, we define Samadhi. It is a Pali term, and we agreed upon that it is generally translated as concentration. What then is concentration? Concentration again is defined as one-pointedness of the mind. So we have defined Samadhi and we came out with the meaning of the word concentration. And this Samadhi, why is it so important in Buddhism? It's important because it is one of the two components that make up the Eightfold Path. And the other two components are Sila and Panya. Sila is morality and then Panya is wisdom. Then the second component of this Eightfold Path is the Samadhi, which is concentration. Under Samadhi, we have three items that make up the Eightfold Path. And that is right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Under the right effort, we have identified four factors that constitute right effort. What are the four factors? The right effort which restrain those unwholesome actions that has yet to arise. This is one of the four. And the other one is to eradicate or to overcome all those unwholesome actions that has arisen. And the other two factors are to cultivate those wholesome actions that hasn't been arisen, which means to say we try to arouse those unwholesome actions that hasn't arisen. And the last one is the effort to maintain those are wholesome actions that has arisen. We keep on maintaining, we endeavor to allow these wholesome actions to continue in our actions. And we realize the importance of effort because it is the very important beginning that will determine our actions. And there is a story which one of our highly knowledgeable member brought up, which I myself didn't know. So, excuse me if I don't get the story correct. So Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. There is a story during the Buddha's time. There are two persons who eventually got married. Both of them are from a very rich family. They are millionaires. So the conditions they were born into were very good. Very rich families, and the thing that is missing in them was the effort which they didn't put in. Actually, they put in effort, it was a wrong effort. So they didn't put in the correct, right effort in the cultivation of the spiritual path. So what happened is, this couple, both of them are millionaires, they indulge in some unwholesome activities which they squander all their money. Actually, the Buddha saw both of them begging for food, and the Buddha gave a smile, and then I think Reverend Ananda asked the Buddha, why is it that you smile when you see this couple? So the Buddha explained that this couple were actually from very rich family, born into very good conditions, but unfortunately didn't have the correct or the right effort to cultivate from the good conditions. So they squander all their money, and the net result is even the spiritual path were not cultivated. So the Buddha also mentioned that if they had cultivated the right effort during their younger days, the husband would have attained Sakadagami, Anagagami, sorry. Oh yeah, if both of them have cultivated the spiritual path, put in the right effort under these good conditions, the husband would have attained Arahat, and the wife would have attained Anagami. Even though if they miss this opportunity during the younger days, when they realize that they need to put in the right effort during the middle age, even at the middle age, they will also be given the opportunity to attain Anagami for the husband and Sakadagami for the wife. And the Buddha also continued by saying that if the situations again is not conducive for them to cultivate at the middle age, even at the old age, they will also be given a chance because of the good conditions they were born into. And even at old age, if they have put in the right effort to cultivate, they would have attained Sakadagami for the husband and Sotapan for the wife. So the gist of the story, or the lessons, or the message that is to be put forward is the effort determines. Even though we may be born in good conditions, but if we don't put in the correct effort, the right effort, these good conditions will not help in our spiritual path. And there are other situations whereby people born in unfortunate conditions, yet they can attain higher levels in the spiritual path, which again, we have brought out another story again concerning this right effort. There was a Arahan. He was born into a very unfortunate state. When he was small, he was given away, and then somebody will pick him up, and then for 7 times this happened, given away, and then it was brought back. Some bad karma brought him to be given away, and then the good karma arise, and somebody picked him up. And then eventually, after 7 times, he managed to, with the right effort, he managed to attain Arahant. So here again, we have seen that good conditions, if you don't put it in the right effort, then you don't attain anything. On the other hand, if you are born in unfortunate conditions, you still can attain to a certain level of a spiritual path if you put in the right effort. So that's what we have identified under the right effort. So the other item under Samadhi is right mindfulness. What then is mindfulness? Mindfulness is the awareness of the presence, awareness of the thought, speech, and bodily action. And looking at it at a different angle, a different aspect, we realize that you can also see mindfulness under the 4 foundations of mindfulness. There is a Satipatthana Sutra. And to be aware of your body or the material self, to be aware of the feelings, thoughts, and mind objects. So under these 4 foundations of mindfulness, you can practice the right mindfulness. And the next item is right concentration. Right concentration is one-pointedness of the mind. And this is a very important factor because it acts as a very powerful aid or a very powerful tool for us to be able to see things as they really are. If we have cultivated Samadhi with the correct amount of concentration, it is the starting point, or is the foundation for us to be able to see things as they really are. In other words, Samadhi initially will assist us in the samatha meditation, which increases our concentration, the one-pointedness of our mind, and using this as an aid or as a tool, we move on to vipassana. Vipassana needs a certain level of concentration, and this is where the one-pointedness or the concentration will assist in the vipassana. And with this level of concentration and switching over to vipassana, we are able to see the three characteristics, which is anicca, impermanence, dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, and anatta, which is no self. So, using Samadhi as a foundation, we can realize these three characteristics. And I think that's all.
Hello, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Today's subject is Samadhi. Yeah? Actually, what is Samadhi? Samadhi is one of the subjects we are talking about on meditation. And Samadhi is also can be defined as self-concentration, whereby we have calm, tranquility, peace, and reconciliation. Yeah? So, for the supportive part to have Samadhi, we have to maintain right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. It's okay. For right effort, this have the four important parts. Is the endeavor to discard evil that has arisen, and also the endeavor to prevent the arising of unrising evil. And the third one is the endeavor to develop unrising and wholesome actions. And the fourth one is the endeavor to promote the good, there is the wholesome actions which has already arisen. Now, with the effort is the starting point. Everything we do, we must have a starting point, right? So effort is actually plays a very important part to start with, and then we can cultivate the mindfulness. Without good and right effort, you cannot able to have maintained the second stage. Right mindfulness are the see things as they really are. Is you have the senses, be awareness of the body, feeling mind, and other also the mind objects. You must also be mindful not to attach to objects. These are the six senses, and so awareness to all the defilements, whereby these are the important parts to develop wisdom. Because if your mind is not aware, there is no wisdom to arise. And with wisdom arises, it will lead you to the foundation of the Samadhi stage. Samadhi stage is the right concentration. Right concentration is one of the most important parts to attain the jhana stage. Now, Samadhi is one-pointedness. Is not distracted by any external forces, senses, or defilements which comes into the mind. It's a big truth where nothing can penetrate through. So for Samadhi, you have to have two folds, which is the approaching stage of the jhana is the upachara. And now comes to the beginning stage. And then next one you will have the concentration to reach the next stage is the fourth jhana stage, which is the formless attainment. So with the right concentration, we have the clearness of any kind of pure and skillful thoughts. The concentration is transmitted in the jhana stage, which is will form the supernormal consciousness, whereby for wisdom to arise, concentration is like an empty bowl, and the wisdom is like the food that fill it and make the meal. We call Chitasa Ekagata, or also the dominant mental factor in progress of the emanations of sensory impression from the mind. Now, Samadhi, we have also four types belonging to the realm of sense. is the first stage, as I mentioned, upachara. Another one will be the apana, belong to the realm of form. Rupavachara, belonging to the realm of formless. Arupa upachara, and the last one is the not belonging to any of these three realms. Aparichayapana. So, in Buddhism, these are the three important things for the cultivation of meditation, whereby Buddha has already mentioned himself. Only a Buddhist who can call themselves must be go through meditation. So I think I end my talk here. Thank you.
Samadhi is one of the threefold disciplines of the Eightfold Path. The threefold discipline is Sila, Samadhi, and Panna. Samadhi involves right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Samadhi is a state of mind described in the sutta as chittasa ekagata, that is, one-pointedness of mind. Samadhi is necessary for penetrative wisdom to arise, which realizes our final goal, that is nirvana, or cessation of suffering. It is a stage that one gets completely absorbed in the objects of thoughts and made possible by the suppression of the hindrances and defilement. The attainment of Samadhi, temporarily suppressing the five hindrances of sense desire, ill will, strong and trouble, restlessness and anxiety, and spectral doubts. The pure and concentrated mental state resulting thereafter allows the mind to penetrate into the three characteristics of existence, namely anicca, dukkha, and anatta. The final result is eradication of the defilement of sense desire, attachment to existence and non-existence, and false views, and hence liberation from samsara. There are three types of samadhi, namely 1. Parikama samadhi, 2. Upachara samadhi, or also excess concentration, and 3. Apana samadhi, which lead up to the state of jhana. Parikama samadhi is a concentration initially experienced when the meditator first concentrated on his subject of meditation. Upachara samadhi is a deeper stage of concentration in which the mind is calm enough to contemplate on phenomenon reflectively. Apara samadhi is a still higher state of concentration which attends into the first, second, third, and higher jhana. Sama samadhi, or right concentration, is one of the noble Eightfold Paths. Full development leads to beneficial results like self-confidence, inward purity, absence of eternal fear, mental serenity or tranquility, and lastly, the most important, he established one of the 7 factors leading to Nibbana.
Selamat petang kepada Uncle, Auntie dan Abang dan Kakak semua di Dhamma. Saya harap saya dapat persembahkan rancangan kumpulan kami dalam bahasa Malaysia yang tepat dan senang difahami oleh Auntie dan Uncle kami di sini ya. Kumpulan kami nak mulakan persembahan kami mengenai tajuk samadhi ni, saya tak tahu apa yang perkataan yang sesuai dalam bahasa Malaysia dalam samadhi ni, tapi saya harap nanti sebelah sana samadhi dia artinya dalam Chinese nanti sebelah jiran tu boleh terangkan. Samadhi ini sebenarnya dalam ajaran guru Buddha ada dua cara yang keseluruhannya, ada dua cara yang utama untuk melatihkan otak manusia tu. Yang pertama ialah samadhi, kedua adalah bawana. Samadhi ni adalah cara dia tu menumpukan perhatian tenaga otak kami sendiri. Menumpukan, iaitu menumpukan sesuatu objek, suatu benda, itu sahaja, menumpukan. Dan sementara bagi bawana adalah kami merasa dan memahami sesuatu perasaan ataupun perasaan yang kami rasai. Merasai apa suatu keadaan macam bunyi ke, perasaan yang sentuh permukaan kami dan sebagainya. Iaitu dua yang jauh perbezaan mereka. Satu ialah samadhi, menumpukan perhatian saja, dan kedua ialah bawana. Saya ingin memberikan satu contoh ataupun satu cerita semasa guru Buddha itu, di mana ada seorang pengikutnya, di mana semasa kehidupannya yang dulu dia adalah seorang pekerja emas. So yang pengikut Buddha ni semasa umur Buddha ni, dia telah pun diberi satu objek. Biasanya yang pengikut ni akan pergi berjumpa dengan guru mereka, dan guru mereka akan berikan satu objek, mereka melatih latihan samadhi atau bawana. So pengikut ni diberi satu objek yang biasalah untuk melatih penumpuan tenaga otaknya, tetapi pengikut ni tidak dapat mengikutinya. So guru Buddha itu pun dapat memahami bahawanya pengikut ni semasa kehidupan dia yang dulu dia adalah seorang pekerja ataupun tukang emas. So guru Buddha pun mencipta satu image bunga lotus, bunga lotus emas, image bunga lotus emas. So pengikut ni dapat melatihkan latihan ni samadhi, menumpukan perhatiannya ke atas objek bunga lotus emas ni. So ini yang sekurang-kurangnya menerangkan perbezaan samadhi dan bawana. So yang ini samadhi sebenarnya adalah, seperti saya katakan, adalah menumpukan perhatian tenaga otak manusia. Dan jika seseorang yang dapat berusaha melatihkan tenaga otaknya peringkat lebih tinggi, mereka akan mencapai peringkat yang tinggi yang dipanggil jana. Peringkat yang ada seperti peringkat 1, 2, 3, 4. Dan hasil-hasilnya pun saya ingat tadi pun diceritakan oleh ahli kumpulan tadi. So setelah pun dicerita dengan samadhi ni, sekarang kumpulan kami nak cerita juga ada dua aspek pandangan mengenai samadhi ni. Satu iaitu pandangan betul dan pandangan yang silap. Pandangan yang silap mengenai samadhi ni adalah bila seseorang tu telah berjaya melatih penumpuan tenaga otak ni sampai satu peringkat yang sangat tenang saja. Ni pandangan silap ialah mereka akan sukakan ataupun apa tu? Akan terikat, ya betul, atau menarik, ya, terikat kepada perasaan suka saja. Dengan adanya yang perasaan yang ini saja, sebenarnya tidak dapat menolong kami berkembang lebih selanjutnya, iaitu melihat ajaran Buddha, iaitu 4 kebenaran fenomena kehidupan ini, iaitu adanya adanya kesakitan, puncanya, penyelesaiannya, cara-caranya. Jika ada orang yang mempunyai pandangan yang salah samadhi ini, iaitu mereka akan terikat saja yang ni keadaan tenang, suka saja, mereka tidak dapat berkembang dari peringkat itu. Itu pandangan yang silap. Pandangan yang betul, yang selanjutnya dari pandangan silap tu, akan orang pelatih itu tidak akan ataupun memeriksa keadaan yang sebenarnya, apa tu keadaan fenomena sebenarnya. Itu pandangan silap. Pandangan yang betul mengenai samadhi ini ialah seorang pelatih itu akan merasai keadaan fenomena yang sebenarnya, bahawa adanya dari penumpuan tenaga otaknya, mereka akan seterusnya memahami keadaan fenomena yang sebenarnya, bahawa dari adanya punca sesuatu fenomena, macam adanya mulanya, mesti adanya tamatnya, akhirnya. Mula dan akhir. So dia akan, pelatih itu akan memahami keadaan fenomena ini lah. So kumpulan kami pun telah sediakan pandangan betul dan silap tentang samadhi ini, dan kami ingin memutuskan persembahan kami ialah dengan memberi sedikit apa kebaikannya, kebaikannya pelatihan samadhi ini. Kebaikan latihan samadhi ini ialah dapat menumpukan perhatian kami ataupun tenaga otak kami tertumpu ni, jadi disiplin, tenang. Kami tidak membazirkan tenaga otak kami, memikir itu ini, kita jadi khawatir, nanti boleh bimbang, nanti jadi sanksi atau apa sebagainya. Kenapa pula jika yang seseorang tu tenaga otak mereka tak tentu, mereka sebenarnya membazirkan tenaga otak mereka dengan memikir itu ini, dan tidak dapat membuat kerja mereka dengan baik, kualiti yang tinggi. Sebab so sebenarnya sesiapa yang ada penumpuan tenaga yang baik, latihan samadhi yang baik, kualiti kerja mereka pun sebenarnya adalah lebih tinggi jika dibandingkan yang lain. Dan yang seorang ni akan belajar jadi tenang dan akan memahami keadaan fenomena di sekelilingnya. Tidak akan macam cepat-cepatnya bertindak, jadi emotional, emotion ke atas keadaan, jadi cepat marah atau sebagainya. So saya ingat itu saja kumpulan kami dapat persembahkan, dan terima kasih memberikan peluang saya bercakap sini. Sebenarnya akan dalam kumpulan saya pun nak cakap, tapi mereka membuat hati menolak saya keluar. Terima kasih.
Alright. So there were various points given by the various brothers and sisters regarding the subject of samadhi or concentration. Now, before we finish up, there is another contribution here from Brother Ronnie Ong, who cannot make it to this precept because he is in Thailand now. I think he is now in Wat Hin Mak Ping, Achan Achan Tet's place. So he just left Achan Mahabua's place. Oh no, he'll be leaving on Monday. Achan Mahabua, 21st. Or 21st already left already. Okay, so he couldn't make it, and he says, although I won't be participating in the 8 precepts, I would like to share in the discussion on Samadhi. I have only 3 short points. Number 1, Samadhi is when the mind is concentrated on a single object. Number 2, at that point, it will not reach out in search of more defilements from the external world. Number 3, at the same time, having the mental hindrances temporarily arrested, the mind is then a battleground with the defilements. It is now fit for work, the work being panya, the 3rd training, and also next month's topic. Okay, so next month we are going into panya. Before we end, I will try to give to sum up the whole story as regards to samadhi or meditation or concentration as well as I can. All right. So from the various speakers, we find that the various points have been brought up. Firstly, the definition of Samadhi. Samadhi, most of you have mentioned that it is concentration, one-pointedness of mind. Okay, that is Samadhi. In the suttas, it has been often referred to as, I think it's Chittasa Ekagata. Okay, one-pointedness of mind. That is given in the scriptures. Yeah, one-pointedness of mind. So many of the speakers have related Samadhi to the Eightfold Path, covering right mindfulness, right effort, and right concentration. The Samadhi component of the threefold training of Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Okay? And some have enumerated on what is right mindfulness, what is right effort, what is right concentration. Any question? Anybody who doesn't understand this tree? And you like to like some explanation on that? No, huh? Okay, so you'll take it as you already understood that. Okay, now, furthermore, it was mentioned that by the practicing of Samadhi, the mind becomes purified, the mind becomes calm, able to penetrate into the truth, penetrate into the dhammas, especially anicca, dukkha, anatta of all phenomenon, and thereby free the mind from greed, hatred, and delusion, and to the attainment of nibbana.